Just curious, Tyler, have you seen this yet?
And why didn't he wait a little bit to dig up more information before showing his hand early, before anyone's actually done any actual investigative journalism, so that Demon Mama and Fawn, etc., don't have the opportunity to start combing through all of their material in advance and scrubbing the record. He didn't like that, so he's been banning people from his server, muting people, and he directly lied about me. He directly lied about me in public on his server. Giant ass effort post. It was bloody bizarre. In which he said that we have had multiple conversations, in which I have carried water. I have defended Demon Mama. In fact, let me actually pull that up just so we have it for the people who weren't here.
Tyler says Sunday is literally lying this entire time. He pissed his pants and leaked DMs in my community. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're back on tomorrow, so I'm assuming you'll say your piece then. Again, I'm withholding judgment until I get the full story here. So the competing narratives, right, that we're talking about is that Tyler feels like Sunday is in some way sweeping, right? In other words, protecting Demon Mama and maybe other people in Whiteleaf, right? And Sunday claims that he's not, and that he just wants to get the story. He wants to nail down the like he wants to make the he wants to make things airtight, right? And so those are the competing claims. And again, we watched one of Sunday's VODs last night. We're gonna watch this one tonight. This includes also, I guess, a I don't know how much of this we'll watch. This is Stardust talking to Gayfesh. But yeah, this is Sunday saying the rest of his piece, and I assume that Tyler will give his his narrative tomorrow, right? He doesn't understand literally a thing about reporting, and even his every word on this statement is an ethical violation. Really depressed by his unprofessionalism. So do you think that, like, in your opinion, is this like, do you think that he's blowing smoke up your ass to sandbag the investigation? Like, do you think that he's not really telling you how he actually feels about Demon Mama and the rest of them in order to kind of compromise what you're trying to put forward? If Sunday wanted to know the story, he could have asked his literal friends when this information came out, like months ago. But when I release a piece, he suddenly wants to know more. Stardust, yeah, Stardust is... Well, I don't know if we'll get to that, right? Stardust interviewed Gayfesh. Stardust is definitely sweeping for Demon Mama. So for anybody keeping track at home, Stardust is 100% team Demon Mama. She's giving Gayfesh a chance to get his story out. Gayfesh is the one person that I've seen so far that seems like more of a weasel than I realized, right? Gayfesh has been a weasel to me before, but that was a long time ago, and I try not to hold grudges. I don't want to, I don't want to live like that. But yeah, no, he's being a crybaby. He's being a weasel. He's being a little shit. Sunday humiliated himself and was trying to save face. This is Tyler speaking, by throwing me under the bus. I feel obligated to clear the record only because my face was in your thumbnail. That's true. Your face was in my thumbnail. That is the work of my thumbnail designer. And Sunday's face as well. But yeah, I mean, you absolutely have the right to speak your piece.
This sucks, by the way. I am, like, unironically, this really sucks. This really sucks. Like, there's no reason for this. This is...
And like I said, I'm withholding judgment, right? I don't want to tip my hand too much because I've watched some of this. But there are some things there's some places that Sunday goes in this conversation that I kind of have a problem with, right? There is some questioning that he does that I actually don't think is reasonable, right? For instance, the connection between Demon Mama and the rest of the White Leaf Network is of interest because we're not just seeing singular actions by singular content creators. We are seeing a pattern. And I have noticed a pattern with White Leaf creators. I have noticed that there is a system of like mutual keeping of secrets. And yeah, there's like a pattern. There's like a similarity. There's a parallel between, you know, what's going on in Demon Mama's community and what's going on with Vosh. And I don't know why Sunday has such a hard time seeing that. But again, I'm trying to withhold judgment. Not everybody's had their say yet. Tyler, you know, Sunday has streamed, I think, done 2 or 3 streams on this. Tyler has yet to, you know, say his piece on this. I mean, I guess you said some things from Discord, right? But I've only read that secondhand through Sunday.
Stupid. This is actually stupid. I guess we need to resize this, don't we? There we go. So, sorry for the giant wall of text. This is Westside Tyler in this server. And he says, here where my cursor is. I have had several conversations with you where you ran cover for these individuals. Demon Mama, Doe, Fawn, etc. Downplayed even the possibility of abuse, all the while suggesting the more severe issues likely didn't extend as far as I suspected. How many months, years even, have you known about Fawn's tweets and never ever thought to possibly double check whether your friend's partner may be weird around kids? In answer to that second question, actually, I asked in VC months and months ago when the Cope and Seed video dropped, and Fawn had no association as far as I could tell with the channel at all. This was a person who had been totally distant. The reason why this interview is important to me is because this is the first I had gotten wind that Fawn was interacting with people in Demon Mama's server, which is a horse of a different color. But as to the previous part, I have had several...
A horse of a different color. All right, we're onto the horses already. Yeah, Tyler, that's, yeah. No, like your side of the story is the one that we haven't gotten, and that's, you know, a big part of the reason I'm withholding my judgment on this.
Conversations with you where you ran cover for these people. This is a lie. This is a flat-out lie. And to prove it was a flat-out lie, I actually went through all of our DMs on screen. Every single one, top to bottom. From the first time we spoke privately. And not only...
God, yeah, like, so, yeah, Tyler's got to get to bed. I would ask you some questions. I would have some questions for you, but I want to, maybe you'll answer those tomorrow. And I do realize that it gets a bit late if you're not on the West Coast, so...
Those DMs show that I have never, ever ran cover for these individuals. I actually was actively helping Tyler construct his hit piece, doing his investigation. I gave him sources. I gave him names and information. Which, by the way, if I knew that he was going to use that in order to needlessly post a dox that did nothing whatsoever to serve the purpose of the investigation, as far as I can tell, just an act of spite.
So yeah, that's my question. The rationale for that decision is my main question. But again, Tyler's got to get to bed, so
I would not have helped him. This is a basic failure of journalistic integrity. Like a basic failure. And I flat out asked him today on his server after my 24-hour timeout ended. So just to be clear, because he was saying, in fact, I could actually just open it up, couldn't I? I left the server just a few minutes ago. And it sucks. It sucks.
You can't watch Sunday justify dumping your DMs on stream. He actually does most of the justification in the previous stream. This is the one from 2 days ago. I think it's like the day before that, where he dumps the DMs and he gives his justification. Essentially says that he's trying to exonerate himself of allegations from a Discord message that you posted. But yeah, maybe he goes into more of the justification. Like I said, I've watched some of this, and there's some of the stuff that he gets to later that I do take exception to. But like I said, need to hear the whole story before rendering an overall opinion.
He did send you the video the day before he put it out, didn't he? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. I trusted him to do a good job. So when he's spending like weeks putting together this thing, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to cover it live. I'm going to be objective, but I have confidence in this, okay? Tyler has history as a journalist. Tyler can be hot-headed, but Tyler is a professional. I was sorely disappointed. Online Friends on Friends Sunday. We had a VC conversation a couple days, I think maybe a day or two. It may have been a day. Before his video went live. Before it went up. And he said things to the effect of like, I didn't know this about you earlier, but you actually care about this stuff, and I appreciate that about you, and I'm sorry that it seems like all of your friendships end up being temporary business alliances or whatever. Tyler's a slime ball. Like, genuinely. And this expose, this wasn't just bad journalism, this was predatory. Because Tyler didn't do any real investigating. Tyler was aided with information when he asked for it, but the vast majority of that video was a hastily published interview with literally no input from Tyler, except the very strange suggestion in the middle, would you say Demon Mama's community is a cult? Which it may very well be, but if you're putting a categorical term in the mouth of an interviewee who might not otherwise come up with it, that's sort of the definition of leading. That's not of particular concern to me. That's relatively minor. But the point is...
I don't know, leading the witness, right, is the charge. I feel like it was more like corroborating a pattern that he had noticed, a pattern that is actually fairly clear if you're looking at it with any depth, right?
This is not a thing that was a demonstration of rigor and hard work on Tyler's part. Glooby came to Tyler. There was no follow-up. There was no request for additional sources. Apparently, Tyler didn't even use some of the sources that Glooby provided. And there was the addition of a dox of Demon Mama for literally no reason. No reason at all. Like, none. Actually, no reason. At the beginning, I was going to ask for what, but there's no for what. There's no reason. Just hates her. Or he's nuts. I don't know. I don't know if Tyler knows why he does the things he does. And then it's all couched in this broader attack on White Forest and Vosh, who have nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this at all. And by the way, White Forest and Vosh suck. And I told him this in those DMs that you saw earlier. Like, hey, I'm on board with this. Unless you become a liability. You got to control yourself because you're doing stuff. You are doing stuff that compromises you. And he's in his server right now. Just tell every single person who brings up a question, politely stated, is an idiot. Their opinion's worthless. They're stupid. This is not a good guy. Okay? And that sucks, because I thought he was. Genuinely. Honestly, I thought he was. I'll disagree on that point that dox was necessary to establish her age at the time. At what time? We knew Demon Mama was an adult the entire time. She's in her 30s. She said she's in her 30s. What does her past residence help us with? This is the literal behavior he says makes DM a cult leader. That's the perverse part about this. That's the perverse part. He's actually bullying people in his server right now who don't fall in line and just agree with every single thing he's done. Let me pull up something for you, okay? It sort of comes to bear. This is the Society of Professional Journalists, the SPJ's Code of Ethics. Okay? See if I can find a better, I guess we can just use the website. Yeah, we'll do that. That's bigger than the PDF. Let's go through this, okay? It's not long. This is the oldest journalist association in America. SPJ Code of Ethics, okay? As of 20.
Okay, so here comes the journalism angle from Sunday, right? The criticism of literally have to go now, but he's actually making shit up, just raw lying, says Tyler. I didn't involve him in any of this because I already thought he was too close to this.
Updated. Preamble. Members of the Society of Professional Journalists believe that public enlightenment is the forerunner of justice and the foundation of democracy. Ethical journalism strives to ensure the free exchange of information that is accurate, fair, and thorough. An ethical journalist acts with integrity. The Society declares these four principles as the foundation of ethical journalism and encourages their use in its practice by all people in all media.
So again, chat, I was like trying to clear up some thumbnail stuff from having the stream go down because I'm no connection chick apparently. My stream constantly goes down. Again, thank you for everybody that's contributing on Throne to getting me a couple of RAM sticks that'll hopefully take care of that problem. I think it's a RAM issue. I think it's, I hope we've got it. I hope it's not a fucking connectivity, ISP kind of issue. But yeah, I couldn't respond to everything that Sunday was saying, but he did bring up my main point of contention with Sunday, right? Is that he doesn't see a connecting line between all of the abuse and negligence in Vosh's and Demon Mama's community, right? I pointed this out, I think yesterday when we talked about this, right? That with Whiteleaf, the whole reason for Whiteleaf existing, the whole reason that the people that are the Whiteleaf team came together, right? They called themselves something before they called themselves Whiteleaf. They called themselves the Vosh Intelligence Agency, right? I don't know if they were kind of being, kind of taking the piss saying that, right? But they were there to basically, because they thought that they were hoping that Destiny would be the edgy boy messiah. He would be the one to use like anti-SJW tactics against the anti-SJWs, against the Gamergaters, against the alt-right Nazis. And Destiny, much like Anakin Skywalker, fell from grace. He embraced the dark side, right? So they lost Destiny, but they felt like they had Luke or Vosh. Vosh is like the Luke Skywalker figure. This is like, the literal protege of Destiny that is that is supposed to fulfill everything that Destiny threw away, right? So Vosh becomes a very crucial end in his own. And because of that, when the stuff with Poppy came up, when the revelations, this is early in Vosh's career honestly should have never gotten off the ground because of the, allegations and not just allegations. This is shit that Vosh admitted to. The abuse that he foisted on people in Discord. Like he is a fucked up predatory guy. And you got this, coming together of White Nervosa and friends to protect Vosh, to have him change his name from Irish Laddie to Vosh, to have him, to try to help him avoid accountability because they need his career to succeed. They need this edgy boy messiah, and they see him as an end in his own. They see him as a good in and of himself, and that therefore he must be protected no matter what he does, right? He cannot be held accountable because this being held accountable would not allow him to grow in the way that they want him to grow. They need him to fulfill the motherfucking prophecy, okay, and be the edgy boy debate lord of the Maudib of the debate, of the lefty debate world, right? And with that in mind, with that being how White Leaf was formed, should it surprise you that there are other creators under the auspices, under the wings of White Leaf that are also abusive, that are also, showing some of the same behavior patterns, right? Or is it actually kind of likely that somebody that's gonna jibe with Vosh is gonna be somebody who's likewise compromised, and he will keep their secrets and they will keep his. They will vouch for him and he will vouch for them. That's the inception of this whole fucking corrupt network. So in terms of that, I do see the connection that Tyler is pointing out here, right? There are other things about, that I don't understand as far as, choices that were made, as far as the inclusion of, personal identifying information of demon mamas. But I do understand I very much understand connecting this to White Leaf. And I think that's crucial to understanding this, because we don't just have Demon Mama. We don't just have Vosh. Check this out, chat. We have Demon Mama, Vosh, Xanderhall, Keffels, Poppy, and Xena. All White Leafers. Is this a fucking coincidence? Is this the coinky dink? That out of a fairly small network, I just named, Vosh, Keffels, Demon Mama, Poppy and Xena, Xander, holy shit, 5. 5 people with very similar issues. And you got the connecting line of, the Loli and the Shota thing between Demon Mama and Vosh, and you got the connecting line of abuse between Vosh and Xanderhall and Keffels and Poppy and Xena. Are you seeing it come together? Does this make sense? Alec Gunter. Wait, okay, so Alec Gunter, oh my gosh. Alec Gunter's a weird one. I almost don't want to include Alec Gunter. He's done some fucked up shit, though. He has done some really fucked up shit. For somebody that, seems to be, hanging his hat so much on trans rights, he sure has shown a lot of queer phobia. And in terms of going after people's reputations, trying to use his platform to, throw dirt on other people in order to, I don't know, fucking end them. Yeah, I mean, Alec Gunter does fit that bill. And look, you could find, a connection between that and some of the things that Vosh has done. But yeah, his name did not come to mind at first, Fatal Imbalance. But yeah, you also have Alec Gunter, right? What is the likelihood of having all these fuckers with very similar stories, with very similar narratives, right? What is the likelihood of that? Does that happen by accident? Or is that a feature of the White Leaf Network? Is that a tendency? Is that a pattern in the White Leaf Network? Right? Is that the kind of people that come together in the camaraderie of the accused?
First section, seek the truth and...
Jim Williams says, Sunday thinks the focus should be on people directly involved in the situation. He knows that generally speaking, there is a connection there, but he disagrees on when and how to discuss it, I think. If I recall correctly, I think he did actually talk about that connection and how they enable, protect each other when Demon Mama dropped, the nuke dropped during his stream coverage. So he sees that, but I guess what he wants to sort of separate this out and handle this, you know, on its own. Is that what is? Because I mean, look, a lot of his problem with Tyler, like, sort of rests on this notion that Tyler's he's looking at Tyler as like a Captain Ahab, right? These are all literature people, right? Tyler's a literature person, so I can use that Ahab, right? Yeah, this is Ahab. This is Don Quixote. This is like, you know, Tyler, you know, being kind of obsessed and obsessively focused, right? And in Sunday's mind, this obsessive focus is actually taking away from the mission, noble though it may be, to bring Glooby's story forward. Keep watching the VOD, he explains.
Ethical journalism should be accurate and fair.
You want content? Put me on for a chat. Okay, well, look, I'm not... So just so you understand this, Sunday, I haven't made up my mind yet about this whole thing. There are things that you bring up that I agree with, right? I, like you, don't understand the reason for the inclusion of Demon Mama's personal identifying information in the video essay. But at the same time, I do see a pattern in the behavior of different members of White Leaf, and I don't think it's by accident. I think that there is a reason that White Leaf was set up. The people that came together under White Leaf, the people that made it, they are the same people that defended Vosh and the Poppy allegations. They could not let their edgy boy Messiah go down, right? So I'm just going to tell you from the start, if you want to come on, all right, I haven't made up my mind. So if you're wanting me to take a side or anything like that, you're not likely to be satisfied. All right, if that's what you want, is to come on and convince me, right? I have a lot more to watch. I have a lot more to think about. I haven't heard Tyler's side of the story, right? So if you want like a completion of, like, you know, I either wholeheartedly accept your narrative or reject your narrative, right? That's not likely to happen tonight. Just so you understand. Just so you understand. Well, I didn't think you came to fight. But you want your... Just bring me on? We're burning daylight. Yeah, okay. Well, if you're not on the West Coast, I can certainly understand that. Let's see. How does this work? I think I send you a Discord invite. Are you already in here? No, you're not. I don't think you're in here. So I'm sending Sunday a Discord invite. If anybody else is not in the Discord yet, feel free to join. Oh my gosh, there it is. The Discord link. Yeah, Sunday's got to get to bed, so you might be interested to know that Tyler came by just before you. So anybody that's got a theory that you and Tyler are enacting some sort of elaborate kayfabe, right? I don't know, that might feed into the conspiracy theory. Right? Tyler shows up, then Sunday shows up. Maybe they're the same guy. Maybe they're the same. No, they're not the same guy. You know that they're not the same guy. Well, it's been a big day for us. It really has. Right? We're doing our so Sunday does like a alternation between theory and between drama, right? So, you know, his dono goes a little bit different than ours, right? We vote on topics, right? There he is. Sunday gets a roll. What is his roll? I think I need to give you follower. I hope that doesn't make hope that doesn't feel like a flex or anything. And then what is the other one? Panel member. There we go. You got both. But really, I could probably just oh my god. Do I have to add you as friend? There we go. I added you as friend. Do you want to do this as a voice call? As Sunday said, I am we are burning daylight here. Let me see. I'm trying to look at my friends pending. There you are. Outgoing friend request has posted. Sunday said anything back on no. He has not. Burning daylight. I thought you were a night owl though. Westside Tyler Durden. Yeah, Asher the Bunnyman's got it right. That's what we're dealing with. So, let's see what's going on. Discord is a complicated beast. All right, chat. Oh, looks like Sunday is in the waiting room. Oh, yeah. Wow. You know right where to go, don't you? Have I had Sunday on before? Sunday, speak to me. Here you are. Here we are. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Did I bring you in too early? Should have given you a little warning.
Definitely loud because I had my volume.
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
All right. I'm doing great. Chat, are we at good volumes? Are we both at good volumes here? Can you understand what we're saying? Not too loud, not too soft? Think we're good. Sunday has entered the building. Okay, so yeah, we've been going through a little bit of your material.
I'm super low.
You're super low. Let's make you less low.
Make sure that you're getting the right audio source here. In fact, I will.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll keep you down at 100 for now. Just let me know when you got it.
Give me 1 sec. Let me check my settings very, very quickly.
That's wild.
That on your end, and don't lie. Is it clear or is it like really fuzzy like it's a shitty?
I can hear you perfectly clear and your volume is fine too. Chat is saying that your volume is low though, which is confusing to me.
OBS?
Yeah.
Check if my peaks are the same as your peaks. Testing,
okay.
Testing. Hello. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Yeah, you are low. For some reason. Let's see. I can.
Desktop volume's low. Oh, it's good now apparently.
Is that better, chat? Are we good? Are we good? It's coming in loud and clear. Coming in and out. Wait, what?
It's coming in and out. I wonder if that's oh. Do you have it set up to privilege your audio over your guest?
Oh my gosh, I know what it is. Yeah, this is the sidechain ducking that you're experiencing. This is a pretty mean tactic if you're gonna debate somebody, but we're not here to debate. We're just here to find out that we're here to get to the bottom
of
everything. Well, like seriously, I haven't had a chance to fully form a opinion.
That's okay.
Let's see.
I wouldn't want to suffer through that long stream myself personally. So, you mentioned Tyler came in earlier.
Yeah, he was in chat. He was in chat.
Oh.
I got the feeling that it was late in the day for him. He streams mornings, so it makes sense. He's probably
what was he saying?
He said that. Oh my gosh, let's see if we can go back. Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to scroll back to where he was. Anybody remember what Tyler said, chat? Oh, here we go. I literally have to go, but he's actually making shit up. You just raw lying. So I didn't involve him in any of this because I already thought he was too close to this. And what he says before that is, yeah, I can't watch Sunday justify dumping my DMs on stream like a baby. Also, he gave me literally next to nothing. So he's disputing your claim that you were giving him information for his investigation.
Just what I understood to be Demon Mama's first name, age, that of her partners.
It seems
inside information about the background of their community, et cetera, et cetera. Like I there's not a ton to give out, and he didn't actually present a ton in his video, so I'm not entirely sure what exactly he's referring to. I would like to preamble anything that I say here by highlighting that Tyler is dealing with a rather painful back injury, I'm given to understand, and he is currently on morphine. So I'm going to be more generous than I would normally be. Tyler has a policy. This is not entirely pertinent, but just as a point of information. Tyler has a policy of if you share something with him in DMs, then you must have an expectation that should he find a use for it in public, he will publish it. And he says this regularly. So for him to be bitching about this is a little bit strange. But more to the point, the reason why I showed my DMs on stream, and I'll show you this directly so you have a point of reference here.
Sure.
The reason why I showed my DMs on stream is not to be petty. The reason why I showed my DMs on stream, why do I not have you in my DMs here? You were just added. What do you call on Discord? NCC?
Just no comment check.
I can't even find you. That's bizarre.
I sent you a friend request.
I think
earlier.
I think I accepted it. Hang on, I'll just find you in here. Here you go. You can pop this on the screen if you like. It'll come up in the VOD that you're watching, anyways. But near the bottom, roughly the bottom third, at the paragraph beginning with Sunday, third paragraph down.
Gotcha.
He says, Sunday, you cannot call into question my investigative standards when the things that occurred happened under your nose. I have had several conversations with you where you ran cover for these individuals, downplayed even the possibility of abuse, all the while suggesting the more severe issues likely didn't extend as far as I suspected. You read that? You can see that?
Yeah. I'm putting it on screen. Is that okay with you?
Be my guest. Absolutely.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm showing my DMs, and the reason why I went through all of my DMs, is because he made a very specific accusation that we had conversations in which I not only defended Demon Mama, etc., concerning abuse, but where I also downplayed even the possibility of abuse, and that I suggested that the more severe issues likely didn't extend as far as Tyler expected. I have done no such thing. And so I went through my DMs to show that, because he is referring to our private conversations when he says that we've had those conversations.
That was the stream that we watched yesterday, so I can confirm what Sunday is saying. That, like, from at least my point, unless I just vastly missed something, right? There was no what he's making a claim of was not shown, and you showed every single DM from your very first encounter with him to the very last thing that you said to him.
I've also been sent a screenshot from your chat from earlier saying that I leaked DMs in his community, which I did not. That's a strange statement. I want to reiterate once again, my issue has nothing to do with him targeting Demon Mama. Again, like, to the extent that I could, I assisted him with this, and you can see that in my DMs with him, and I encouraged him to continue doing so. I didn't tip off Demon Mama or Doe. In fact, they were very, very upset when they saw me release those DMs on stream for the precise reason that they had no warning of this.
Mm-hmm.
And which made me sad. I'm not going to lie. That kind of sucked. But leaving that aside, it's odd that he's making this decision, because my issue with his expose has nothing to do with who it's targeting or why, or with the use of a primary source, or with the lack of evidence. My issue is that he delivered it in such a way as there were potentially compromising claims made by Tyler, an attempt to loop his source into a larger scale vendetta that itself is not evidenced against other people by asking his source. Because I think at the beginning he says something like, this White Forest group, this Vosh group, this is like a cult. And I thought it was crazy, but it turns out, you know who else thinks this is kind of possible, is this source here. And then he feeds him. He's like, do you think this is kind of like a cult? Which is not something you do, because what you're doing then is you're essentially giving them half of a thought and then letting them just follow where that leads naturally. That's the nature. That's why it's called a leading question, because you're leading them to a specific conclusion. The testimony by Glooby, I think, is very believable. I see nothing about it that is unlikely. At the very least, I think it should be a serious cause for concern. I think it should precipitate paying a lot more attention to what these people are doing. And in addition to all of this, I think it's overall a good thing that, fraught as its delivery is, I think the interview itself is a good thing to publish. My problem here is that Tyler has tried to deploy this as a kind of promotional for other investigations and other hit pieces, and he's risked compromising this case to do so.
Yeah.
As a consequence of not, like, because I talked to Glooby after this, and I got corroborating screenshots within 5 minutes that Tyler didn't even bother to ask for. Things like, hey, did you talk about this with anyone else? I know you don't have screenshots from way back when, because I don't know why you would be expected to have those. That would be unfair. But have you, by any chance, mentioned this to anybody else before this whole thing went down recently? And it turns out Glooby did, and that's important because it establishes that this was not made up recently. This gives Glooby's story more credibility for people who don't know any of the parties involved, and who might be skeptical for whatever reason, especially people who might be sort of like around Demon Mom's community, and might be used to seeing things brushed off as, this is just the usual yearly obligatory Vosh hit piece, or this is just the usual, grooming moral panic about trans people, etc., etc. And as a consequence of rushing this thing out to make content, what Tyler's done is he's tipped off the abuser in advance, so that they can now go through all of the content that he hasn't investigated and delete it before anybody else can. That's a really bad thing to do. And I want to be clear, I don't think Tyler was malicious. I think Tyler was irresponsible. And right now, Tyler is, I am told, on very heavy sedatives, so I don't want to be too hard on him for what he's saying here, except that it's untrue and he's going out of his way to slander me, which I really don't appreciate. I've been on his side from go, and my critiques were always couched in, hey, I'm on your side. Why don't we quickly look for more information while we can? And he took offense to this, because I guess his ego's wrapped up in it. It's just deeply frustrating.
Yeah, like the feeling that I got was your attempts to corroborate everything, to get verification, and to dot all the I's and cross all the T's was taken by him as maybe like an attempt to sandbag. Like the only thing that I can figure out, like looking at it from his perspective, is that he seems to think that you are gaining his trust by leading him to believe that you are more, invested and more, on his side, as you said, than you really are. And that the end game would be to, kind of sandbag the investigation, like that you have gotten, you're kind of the inside man for Demon Mama.
I would ask to what end, because I've condemned Demon Mama and I've said Glooby's testimony is
it does seem like that
sincere.
bridge is pretty burned.
And
Yeah, at this point. Yeah.
It was burned long in advance of this on Demon Mama's side, and Doe very recently has also burned that bridge itself. Like this is, and in all of this, like if I was sandbagging them, I would probably alert them to this taking place.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
If anybody's given them sort of the heads up, it seems to be, it seems to be him by rushing this forward. Now, I think his claim was something to the effect that the victim, Glooby in this case, wanted this to come forward as early as possible. And so that was that was what he was operating on.
Well, but I don't know if that's the case. Did he say that in chat tonight?
Oh my gosh, where did I get that chat? Did he say that in chat tonight? He must have, right? Because we haven't watched any of his content. He hasn't said anything other than on Discord about this, and it did come. Can anybody confirm that for me that was something that he said in chat?
Because this coming out as soon as possible, first of all, it doesn't make sense. Secondly, it still begs the question: why are we insisting upon trying to loop this into the narrative that Tyler's been trying to build with his content overall about people in this sphere being guilty of specifically wage theft? And to be clear, I don't think Glooby was paid very well, but wage theft is very particular. It has to do with your owed wages being taken from you. The issue with Glooby is that this was a minor who needed to be, actually registered in order to justify paying specifically low wages, but leaving that aside, this was a minor who was out of his depth, who probably we can expect would possibly have some difficulty advocating for themselves, et cetera, et cetera. And so when their channel had like a dry period, and the percentages that were being doled out to all of the different contributors were like drastically reduced, he probably has no way to go like, hey, I understand things are bad, but I gotta eat. Can we work this out like a more confident adult might do? We're talking about someone who's very young. Like things like this are where this becomes like severely problematic. If you loop it into something that's very easily dismissed because it is technically incorrect, and it has to be technically correct when we're talking about things like wage theft, that's not good, because it means that Glooby's claim and the broader issues can be dismissed using that as a foil.
And I wonder why there wasn't any attempt to confirm that, right? Because if we want to talk about wage theft, we got to establish some sort of a contract or an agreement, or at least something spoken or DM'd between the two of them that implies.
I don't think you even need to go that far. I think he actually, for the brief period that he was focusing on the minority status of the person, I think that was, minority status is the wrong word. Sorry, the minor status of the person.
Right.
That should be sufficient to go like, okay, this on top of everything else makes this kind of weird. So we also have a working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have a working relationship with a minor. So there's some level of financial dependence, and the partner of the employer is sending this person inappropriate images and so on and so forth. Like, this actually compounds with the previous thing if it's handled correctly. But he didn't do that. He switched to wage theft because he wanted to make Demon Mama look hypocritical with respect to Xanderhall. But in this entire report, he neglected to actually produce anything that concretely links Demon Mama to any of this, so the whole thing is just dismissible. And that's a problem, because there's probably information, or was information out there, that actually links the two together. Or there was a more responsible and muted case that still asks the question, this is your channel, like, how could you let this take place?
So in your mind, this all hinges on what did Demon Mama know and when did she know it, as far as Glooby's age, as far as establishing, both the working relationship with a minor as well as the, kind of the fucked up positions that Glooby was put into as a minor, right? That's the linchpin of this all.
Well, here's where it gets complicated.
Okay.
Because no, that's not my concern, but it has to be my concern in light of what Tyler's done with Glooby's testimony, because Tyler has used Glooby's testimony and led Glooby's testimony to feed into his prior claims about White Forest being a cult,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess the channels within White Forest being a cult, and Demon Mama engaging in wage theft hypocritically while Xanderhal was doing so. And the problem is that those claims need to be substantiated with hard proof. Otherwise, the whole thing in which this interview is embedded can simply be dismissed, and it has been dismissed.
Yeah.
A few large people have watched it so far, and they've gone like, "Ooh, this looks really bad." And then when it got into the specific attacks on Demon Mama and the odd use of the docs for seemingly no reason, et cetera, like they're just like, oh, okay, but what is this? And then it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
And
Now, when you say that, you're talking about Destiny?
I'm talking about Destiny, I'm talking about Loner Box, Chud Logic to a certain extent. Like, I think like the interview by itself, if it had been careful, like for example, if he had asked like, hey, so if people, for example, raised some of these issues that you're talking about in Demon Mama's server, what was the response? How were they treated? You could probably get to a description that would then justify Tyler's commentary at the end. This looks kind of cult-like, and I think this merits further investigation. And that would be a really strong argument. This is what a good reporter would do. The problem is he's wrapped Glooby in to additional claims that feed into his video campaign, but which ultimately serve to actually insulate Demon Mama and all those other people from scrutiny. Because they can just dismiss this as like a crazy person. I don't think he's a Captain Ahab type. I think he's intoxicated by the growth he's been experiencing recently, and he wants to keep the ball rolling. I think he's also dealing with like an injury and is highly stressed. And I think he's not thinking through what he's doing. But I want to be clear. Like,
this is more content brain, right? This is like, especially with a newer, relatively newer creator.
Well, I want to be clear. Like, the reason why I got along with Tyler early on is because he wasn't that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he could be really hot-headed, and he could roll off. And sometimes he'll go farther than maybe he would intend to if he was in a cooler place. But he had a really robust community that was really like concerned with things beyond just like clickbait content. He actually had like a conscientious approach to like sensitive issues when he was dealing with them. And I think over the last like little while, I think he's just kind of lost sight of that. And I would urge him to. Did Tyler just get banned from the thing? I would urge him to.
Oh my God, is he in there? Did I just completely? Yeah, there he is. Oh no, it was Stream Elements. Oh my God.
What happened?
He's lying about Chud Logic, is what Tyler says. Let me unban Tyler. Wow, I don't know. Wait, no, he's not banned. He got his. Oh my God, I don't know how to undelete it.
I've had people like saying that I'm in some way responsible for Demon Mama, etc. Like, this is one of the things that Chud Logic brings up. This is neither here nor there. Like, even Chud Logic mentioned, like, yeah, these questions are probably leading, but I don't really. If I was like looking at them more closely, I don't really care. I'm just here for the show. This has been like I've watched these. Like, this has been across the board. The overarching problem here is that he wanted to make the content fast. He looped it in with content he'd already made. He wasn't thinking about the actual viability of this case, and he moved on from this case almost like a stepping stone. Like, he just didn't care about it anymore. He just wanted to. It was like Glooby came forward with the testimony. He's like, "Oh, good, here's my chance." Threw out a thing in a couple days, like badly, and like now what? Like, it's. This is not how you handle like someone's testimony of abuse, especially someone who was a minor at the time of abuse. Like, this is exceedingly dangerous.
Okay,
admit is garbage, but also I'm just being like self-efficacious. You know what I mean?
I'm getting a question from chat. This is something that Sunday brought up, and I actually didn't have an explanation for it myself. I wasn't sure. In terms of the identifying information about Demon Mama, the name and the previous like location of residence, Sunday questioned the purpose of that, and I just wanted to get your answer on what what purpose that was serving in the piece.
Yeah, it says it in the piece. We had to look up Demon Mama's name and find it through a bunch of different sources to like completely clarify what it was. when he I think did he share the right name? I can't even remember. But yeah, he said it was what it was. I'll just leave it out if everyone's upset. But I needed that so that we could compare it with records to get her birth date to confirm that she was the age that she was, so that you can compare that age to the other person. And that's
Okay,
pretty much it.
yeah, so I guess Sunday's thought was that she's um been open about being 30, being over 30, and that it shouldn't have really been a question like her age at the time. We're talking about a timeline that goes what from 2015? Is that when they met? Glooby is
Um,
13 at this point.
Now Glooby was born in '03, so it would have been 2016, I think, is the first meeting.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so Sunday's
And so
thought.
Glooby also did not know her exact age. That comes up in the interview.
So for the
Like,
record, you're just making you're confirming that she is over that she's of age at the time that all this happened, right? That was the purpose.
yeah, and who she is. I mean, honestly, like,
Who she is.
we're not talking about like I got mad at somebody who made like a hit piece on me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what Sunday's fucking
So you're
name
saying
is.
because of her involvement in the the inappropriate situations that Glooby was put into, that the release of her name is warranted then.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even like a release of her name. It's her public LinkedIn that has her face on it, which is searchable. I didn't.
It's connected to her social media as Demon Mama then.
No, I don't think so. It's just her face, like literally her face and her name. And then I found that I mean, I did a whole bunch of shit, but basically, she had a writing career as well. So I also found her Amazon author page, which also goes by her name and has her same photo on it.
But when you said
So
you
it's just
found that through a whole bunch of shit, you're talking about some sites online, I'm assuming.
clicking here and there, clicking here and there. Yeah, yeah. Amazon.
Hopefully with some kind of VPN. Oh no, you're talking about
No,
Amazon. Okay, I'm sorry. You're saying
yeah, it was her
through
Amazon
her
author page.
writing. So how are you aware of the book that she self-published?
I wasn't. I just found out she published. So she talked about she published a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
In early things. I cannot remember all of this off the top of my fucking
Did
head.
she
I gotta check
mention
on
like the name of the piece? Not the piece, the book.
I don't think so, but it's called like To the West. Now
Yeah,
she did a
yeah.
bunch of erotica. And then also that I think she mentioned in like a very early stream that I watched that she had done some stuff. She did freelance writing. Oh, that's how I found it. She said she did freelance writing for the largest synagogue in Rochester. And that's how we connected her to Rochester. And then from there. I don't want to mention too much of this stuff because I don't want to get actually dox anybody. But basically, yeah, she was talking about her career as a writer. She's a freelance writer and stuff. And that got me to Rochester. And then she's also talked about her cult that she was in, the Calvary Church. So it's Rochester plus Calvary Church plus the other things that we look at, which I don't want to mention. And that basically, you connect that with ages, with high schools, with this. And then eventually you find a name, and then you go back out and you double check the name against everything else as well.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that you sort of use publicly available information to
All public. Literally nothing I would have to be on a VPN for.
okay,
Or anything that I would
okay.
need a password or anything. I sat here and I clicked my mouse. It's just
Because I
people.
feel like there was some discussion of a certain site in the DMs. Am I misremembering that?
Kiwi Farms? Yeah. Kiwi Farms had shit too. They have the big gigantic collection of
they're
shit that Fawn did. So like, because no one else is gonna have that. But they have links literally to Fawn's Twitter that I think are up now. You should not click on them.
and so you're
And
talking about this is all stuff that was part of the Cope and Seethe video.
I believe so. But I didn't even get that from Cope and Seethe. Other people gave that to me.
Okay.
And then I found out later. I was actually like, "Oh, my bad, Beckett. I didn't realize you covered all this." And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So, people thinking it's not a big deal. Tell that shit to someone who gets swatted, not a fucking game. Oh, I'm reading your chat. That's not my chat.
That is my chat. Yeah. Are you on right now?
Yeah. No, I'm not online. I'm about to fucking fall asleep. I'm tired as shit.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize how late it was. Fuck.
Yeah. I don't want to dox anybody, first of all. You did kind of out the address. That's not her address. Demon Mama's address is not Rochester, New York. She doesn't live there. She doesn't even live in that state. That's where she grew up.
I think Sunday's concern was more that it was a previous address, and I mean, I didn't hear him say why, but I assumed that that's just another piece of information, and the reason, you know, that there is so much interest in Demon Mama on some of these nefarious sites is that they are, you know, they it seems to be an interest in harassing her based on her identity as a trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
There, you know, you did bring up stuff that she's involved with, and I am not Pollyannish about Demon Mama or any member of the White Leaf network in terms of kind of the harm that they're used to allowing, sort of the nature of that organization in terms of them all knowing where their skeletons in their closet are, and therefore sort of keeping it secret based on avoiding a mutually assured destruction. You know, should one person start to talk about, you know, what they know about other people in that network, but yeah, it's one of these situations where she's been I think she's been, you know, sort of harassed by the Destiny community and by some other online image board related communities, and yeah, of course, by the farms.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Kiwi Farms is a bad website. Full of bad people, but there's just information on there. And it was relevant to the investigation, and I double checked shit through there. Like literally.
I mean, did you check with anybody else about, like, you know, just confirming? I feel like she said that she's mentioned her age, you know, on stream, right? I don't see where the age of Demon Mama is a controversial sort of matter, right? She was obviously of age when she was interacting with Glooby.
No.
You don't think so?
One of those things where this is like journalism stuff. It's public information, like your age, your name, your face. It's all stuff that people can find out, like on the street, like literally just by walking around and talking to you. It's not privileged, especially once you're a public figure. You know, this isn't something like, you know, one of your chatters fucking.
Well, yeah, if there's an interest in finding out who's like behind the online, persona, is that what I'm just trying to nail down, like, your rationale as far as it being about establishing the age of Demon Mama being, you know, that she was never a minor during any of this stuff, versus that as establishing the, you know, real life person behind the online persona and brand, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was anything that was like not grooming children, I wouldn't care anywhere near as much.
So
but
that's your rationale then, right? Because of the severity
I think
of
it's a pretty solid one. It's like kind of right in the Megan's Law area of saying
yeah, and that was some of the what you were talking about with Sunday, right? Was nailing down the you know, the what did Demon Mama know as far as Glooby's age, and when did she know it, and like, you know, the that was like the last piece of information he sent you, right? Was trying to establish that Gayfesh had mentioned Glooby being underage in a some sort of a diss track, right?
Yeah, I guess that they found that out after the fact. I didn't know. Here's the thing is, and this is the most important thing to remember. Sunday's phrasing a thing that is natural to journalism as though it's a bad thing, which is doing imperfect initial reporting. It just happens. Because it's, first off, almost impossible to tell a story. It's not like I can actually reach out to Demon Mama and get her information. I don't think she's actually blocked me on everything. She just literally never responded to a thing I said. Some things I said to her were mean though, so I get it. But the thing is, I put the original thing out and it's out.
Mhm.
It's not like an it's not a court case. I'm not permitted to ask questions. You can only investigate child abuse for so far before you actually start crossing ethical guidelines, none of which are crossed here. We're in a situation where there's a person who has access to children, who has access to mentally ill, young, underage individuals. I found out through other stuff. It wasn't in the story because it's impossible for me to corroborate it in a sensible way. But basically, there's like sections on her website and stuff, or used to be, where you could be in there. It's NSFW, and people that were over 18 could
Right.
get to it, or under 18, and they would be observably under 18 there. So if any of those possibilities are occurring, it's incumbent to get it out there that this individual could be dangerous. That's why to rush it. I can't really
Okay.
hammer home enough. If any of it was inaccurate, the inaccuracy has to be serious. Drawing straws between whether or not a contract was established and it's wage theft or just simply worker exploitation makes no sense to me. Valuable. If somebody wants to discount the child abuse allegations over that, there's nothing else that's going to make them accept those issues. And this was, like I said, Glooby's story to tell. So this is his story that is included in it. And it's all pretty fucking straightforward. And I thought it was because Glooby's not feeling good. Obviously, I don't want Glooby to be stressed out. This is stuff of a pressing nature because it needs to be out so that anybody that might be around them doesn't let some kid get hurt again, or some kid that's talking to them
And
is
you're
like, oh
speaking again to confirming the identity of Demon Mama, if anyone in real life is
yeah, confirming the
around her.
name and age and talking about these things. It's so straightforward to me that it's bizarre. The things that are being brought up are bizarre. And as far as I'm concerned, aside from like uh, President Sunday literally libeling me, um, I've turned this over to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It's done.
And so
It's
the
over there.
libel that possibly libelous or defamatory statements Sunday made about you were.
Well, first off, that I was on drugs and unable to think. Another one is that I have a propensity to make unsourced claims or lie or something of that. Like he's literally, he might not understand it when he's attacking my livelihood or my ability to perform my job with no evidence or limited evidence, and I'm telling him things are wrong. Like, that's just libel. It's just uh a recorded example of him actively making defamatory statements against me in order to harm my reputation in this sphere. We're banging out about it. We're talking shit. It's not
Yeah.
like I'm gonna fucking sue the guy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
What
So
am I
so
gonna
you're not
get?
you're
His
just you're
fucking
just
flesh
pointing out that you think
squid?
that he crossed a line there, not that you're, considering.
Repeatedly, and he seems completely unfucking concerned about it. And just absolute fucking prick, man. I thought it was gonna go maybe a little bit different. I don't know. I was pissed. I yelled at him a bunch, and people are like, "You got to bring it to the fucking DMs," but it's like he's talking about me in public, So I got to
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
him.
no, he has
And I'm
been
fucking
doing,
pissed.
he did do a couple streams since then. So as far as like the whole story behind like what got you interested in covering, like, right, this, mentioned this is like the kind of the second piece of content you've done about Demon Mama. What was like the original, when did you originally kind of discover, her content, and what led you, from just being like, okay, like this is a person out here, to like there's some shit going on here that needs to be looked into?
Really kind of around that. And then I started hearing the other stuff. Basically, I started saying her entire setup was very cult-like because they would have people that kind of went out there and they would like try to slander motherfuckers and shit, and come in and be crazy about stuff. God, I'm fucking super tired right now.
No, I mean you're definitely. I mean I've seen what you're. You know, I've seen some cult-like behavior. I'm not comfortable calling it a cult, but it's definitely like a what was it that Vivian said to you, like a high control group.
Oh yeah, that whole thing.
But it definitely fits under that, somewhere in that spectrum. But yeah, if you're, I don't want to keep you up past your bedtime. I know you're a sort of a morning streamer, or maybe it's not morning for you, but
it's afternoon, but it's definitely like fucking 4 a.m.
it's
now.
getting late. Okay, well, I don't want to keep you up past too late past your bedtime, right? Thank you though for the fairy tales tonight. I mean, this was revelatory, so to speak.
Let me answer one more question. And
Sure, from chat.
Yeah. He said he's a YouTuber, not a journalist. What is this thing Tyler's saying about PS not letting him do his job? Well, if he fucking slanders me and makes it so that I don't have a reputation, that's the point. It doesn't matter if I'm not a journalist anymore, working for like a newspaper specifically. I do have a reputation after a certain fact, and he's just trying to blow me up. That's pretty much it. And
Yeah, I mean,
even if I wanted to go back to journalism or something like that for some reason, then I had to deal with this, it would be a giant pain in the ass.
I mean, yeah, a reputation is a huge part of what we do. Even just as a commentary streamer, right? That's your the degree to which people trust you and believe that you're coming at this with the best of faith. It speaks a lot to whether you'll be listened to and will be considered a trusted source. So that's understandable. That sure, yeah.
One more thing. My mod said I didn't post that Tyler was a lolcow. Thank God. I said that when I was talking to Sunday with Killjoy. I believe Sunday was laying out a path by which Tyler becomes Keffels, so I finished his thought by saying, so yeah, if he goes that way, he's going to become a lolcow. I'll convey that.
I see. So it wasn't like your mod wasn't describing your behavior as being lolcow like, but describing the sort of an angle on looking, that you might look like that from the outside.
Yeah.
Or that Sunday might be angling for portraying you that way.
Fine. If somebody wants to call me a bitch for having like a little bit of an emotional reaction to this, I was trying to be really cool about it, and I'm normally not like fucking broke up, but I gotta say this is like an absolute betrayal. Fucking it like literally heartbroken because I was trying not to have it go this way, and it's fucking sad. It's fucking sad, man. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and
out of this. Be nice to me in the clip. Be nice to me in the clip game. Give me a good look in the thumbnail.
I'll just I'm gonna cut it as neutrally, just sort of show I don't even have time to really do a lot of my fancy editing that I normally do on my own videos. So I'll just show people what was said on both sides, and I'm assuming you'll be streaming tomorrow and giving more of your perspective maybe throughout this week.
Maybe it might just be here because I'm literally fucking sick of talking about it. It's just if I see it come up, it drives me crazy, and then I've got to respond because if somebody's lying about you, can't not respond. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'll tell everybody this is the place to hear it. This is the place to hear it. Go watch No Comment Chick. I'll shout you out tomorrow. I might bring it up a little bit, but I'll send them your way, and they can be in there.
All right, yeah. Well, I'm pretty tired too, so yeah, I'll let you get to bed and talk to my stream a little bit, and then figure out what the fuck I'm doing because I keep on waking up later and later every day. I'm in this bad cycle, Tyler, and I don't want to become a late night streamer again. That's bad news.
No, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna be. I told my wife I didn't want to get back online, and then I did. I was yelling, so I gotta go. I'm gonna be in the
good luck with that. Good luck with that. Yeah.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, Westside Tyler, everybody.
See you guys. Bye.